and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Afterthoughts, brought to you by the Good Samaritan House, a nonprofit organization. As always, we'd like to thank God once again for giving us the opportunity to come into your living rooms and into your hearts with good news and glad tidings. And as always, we start out with a scripture, and the scripture is coming from Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6, without vision, the people perish. And today's topic is going to be inventors in the know. And I have two very special guests today, Mr. Brian Grant and Mr. Joe Edmonds. This is our, I think, our third show. And today we're going to talk about BITR. And I'm going to let Joe Edmonds start out with who is BITR and what is BITR. And welcome to Afterthoughts again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Proud to be here today. BITR is the abbreviations for Black Inventors Technical Resource, which is a resource that we have put together as inventors to help and assist other inventors. We know that there's a great big problem out there with inventors being able to get their product to the marketplace. So BITR was put together specifically to help minority inventors as well as other inventors to get their product to the marketplace.
Yeah, so that's part of your purpose and your goals and and we go a little further. We want to take it a step further. The membership, how is your membership doing with BITR?
Well, we have a list of over 100 inventors, and it's constantly growing because with the downsizing of jobs today and people not being able to have a job that they can depend upon, the membership is constantly growing because people are realizing that they do have great ideas, and now they have a place to bring those ideas to, which is BITR.
So you would say it was founded to round it off. The conditions for minority inventors prior to BITR, how was that founded? I mean, why was it founded? Was it conditions of the minority inventors?
Well, yes, because basically inventors do not have the prior knowledge of what it takes to go to the marketplace with an idea. We at BTR have some experience. Me and Brian Grant, who's with us here today,
Right.
is a very excellent person when it comes to marketing. I'm pretty versed into the development of the product, actually, new product development. So I can help them in those ways. But most inventors have had their ideas usually taken away from them, ignored, or just stolen from someone else. And that's because they were going to marketing companies, which I cannot say their names up on TV. But I have received hundreds of letters from inventors that have actually written me and have had difficulty getting their products to the marketplace. And so I knew it was time for us to put something together to help them, because as an inventor, I felt their needs.
Right. Brian, let me ask you a question. As Joe just stated, that it's hundreds of inventor, I don't know if I'm saying this right or not, you inventing companies out there in the field. What makes BITR so different from the other companies, besides being honest?
Sure. What, like Joe alluded to earlier, BITR, Black Inventors Technical Resources, is a group of individuals who are inventors themselves, who've gone through the process, who's experienced what it takes to get a patent and what it takes to actually take that to market. Joe and I, we've been working for some time now. We've also established good relationship with people in the manufacturing area, patent attorneys, and so on. So what we like to do is to work with individuals who are interested in pursuing their inventions rather, and help them be as successful as possible and at a from a cost-efficient standpoint.
Yeah, the last show I did with Mr. Edmonds, I guess this makes your company different from other companies. He explained to me, and I'd rather for both of you to explain to our viewing audience, that I might have a good idea for an invention, but you guys can make it, the invention, adapt something to it or do something to it to make it more feasible to the public. Is that what makes, it's like a counseling for my invention. A while ago you were talking about invention. We won't describe what it was, but you were talking about it. And you and him came up with an idea of how to make that invention more feasible. Is that, am I saying this right?
Yeah, that's correct. Normally what happens is that most inventions are underdeveloped. A person gets a concept, and they take that concept and then they work it into an invention, which takes a little bit more time. See, a concept is just that. It's a
Right.
concept.
Right.
It's something that you have thought of but not thought out.
Sure.
Okay.
So basically what happens is that we think it out for you. We show you the steps that you should take to protect it, such as your patent, such as your copyright, such as your trademark, and things of that nature. And once that's established, then Brian himself takes over into the marketing part of the product, because marketing your product is very valuable. And Brian has the expertise in that. I'll let him explain that a little.
Yeah.
The marketing, like Joe mentioned, the marketing plan is very crucial to the success of the actual product itself. When you market a particular product, you have to segment a particular market. You may be interested in a particular market. We do what you call market studies to see if people are interested in your product,
Wait
first
a minute,
of all.
you know, I'm cutting you off for a reason, because
It's okay.
I want to understand this, and I know my viewer and audience want to, when you get a target audience, is that?
Yes.
Is that?
Or a segment, a particular, we call it demographics. We
Right.
concentrate on a particular group of people who may be interested in this particular product, maybe the age range, background, cultures, and things. We take all these factors into consideration.
And what happens if I have a good invention, but I have the wrong, I don't have I gotta have a target audience. right?
Exactly.
So I don't know my target audience.
We would
So
help you to find that target audience or that segmented group. And in doing that, you could determine how much money you can make. You see, the population of people in that particular area.
Yeah, is that the only problems you run into? What other problems could you run into? My main concern would be, if I came up with what I thought was a good concept, would be how can I trust this company to handle my
Sure.
product without stealing it from me?
That's
without
a
taking
good
it from me,
question.
You know, that would be my main concern.
That's most inventors' problems, is that they worry about that. That's what we have come together for, is to relieve that type of a worry, because we can teach you how to actually protect your ideas. And that's why you need to get hold to us, so that you can find out the reasons and all of the things that you need to do to protect your idea. And it starts out basically with documentation,
Right.
keeping good documentation upon your product, you know, and keeping yourself informed, as well as another individual that knows exactly what you're doing informed, and sign it, date it, and those are things that you can do. You can also file a disclosure. There are some other things you can do, which they call provisional applications now, which is not as costly as a patent, but still needs to be put together correctly, and we do those too.
Okay, finances, that's a major problem. I don't have any money. In fact, I don't even have a job, and I'm just barely hanging on, but I've got a tremendous idea, and it's feasible, and I have a target audience. Who's gonna, would your company help me get the finances to produce this product, whatever it is?
Yeah, well, let me
Yeah.
say this. One of the reasons that Joe and I, again, we helped form this organization is because we were actually struggling
Right,
ourselves
right.
financially. And we found out that it was quite costly to go to patent attorneys, major marketing firms. And so we created a niche. We've got the experience, we've got the background. So we can work with individuals like yourself and at a very nominal cost. So it's not as expensive as going to a professional corporate attorney or something
Right.
of that nature.
But what my point is that I don't have any money. Well, I'm almost one step from pushing the shopping cart down
Sure.
the street. But I have a tremendous idea. You know, I have concept is beautiful. I have a good target audience.
Sure.
How do you handle a situation like that?
Well, in some cases,
Look for a banker, a backer, or what?
well, in some cases, there's money available. So, for example, I didn't have any money to actually manufacture my product,
Right.
but I went through the city of Oakland, who was instrumental in me getting my own manufacturing company. They seen and looked at my product as well as the business plan, which explains the product
Okay.
and explains the feasibility of it, explains the profitability of it,
Right.
and it also lets them know that I'm capable of making this product work.
Right.
So after all that was seen and done, the city allotted me $500,000 to spearhead my manufacturing company. So there's money available through other sources in the city, as well as the government, that you can get money from. So, but you have to know these things, and you have to put together the proper documentation in order for you to address those things. We can address those things for you.
Okay. Well,
And
that
if-
relief that
Berkeley, if I can just add to that, what we try to do is also match our inventors with people who would be interested in their product. And we try to present it to them. Maybe they would actually finance that product also.
Mm-hmm. So your BITR is relatively young. How much progress? I know that you have a plant, but I'm talking about others. Can you give me some examples of who you helped in the past to get a product to the marketplace, and besides yourself? And
Well, we've helped quite a few people. Their success hasn't been as great as some, or not as bad as others.
Mm-hmm.
But we have gotten them to the point to where they've received their patents.
Mm-hmm.
There are people looking at their products at this particular time, and I really can't discuss in detail,
Yeah, I understand.
what some of these ideas are. But
Right.
we know we're going to have some winners coming out here pretty soon.
Right.
And they all came from the need of an individual not knowing where to go, finding a place such as BITR, and bringing that product to us. And we're now able to take that product and help them market the product very successfully.
Right, Brian. I know that Joe has got his product to the market. You are an inventor too, right?
Yes.
And you're going in the same direction that Joe.
Actually, I'm following Joe. Yes.
Yeah. Well, now you and Joe are working together.
Right.
Okay.
Now, let me try to explain the relationship that we have.
Right.
Joe has a very good background in engineering.
Okay.
I mean, we look at patents and we try to make improvements upon patents. My background is marketing. I am an inventor also. I do have
Right.
a product that's going to be on the market real soon. And actually what I plan to do is to run it through Joe's manufacturing plant, which is located in Northern California.
Right.
So we're looking for other individuals who are interested in doing this also.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons that Joe and I work good together is because we have a good understanding of what we want to do and where we want to go. So we look at the product from the beginning to the end.
Your experiences, both of you. This question is directed at both of you. Your PR, your public relations, and how the press. I know the city. I'm gonna let you talk about the city of Oakland in a minute. But in the meantime, what type of support are you getting from the newspapers, the television industry? Take your time and answer that. But I want both of you to answer that. And some of your personal experiences, the ups
Sure.
and the downs.
Right.
Well, one thing I must say today, you've been very supportive,
Right.
and as you have been in the past.
Right.
So we are basically being supported by people such as yourself. And there's another station located in Oakland called Soul Beat,
Mm-hmm.
which I've been on there a couple of times. It's a black-owned TV station up in the city of Oakland. Matter of fact, it's the only black-owned TV station in the United States.
Sure.
But they've been very, very instrumental in letting us come onto their shows, as well as, like I said, you have. And the articles in the newspaper have been written by the Oakland Tribune. I've also been in a couple other newspapers here in Southern California. So we've been getting some exposure there. But our thing is this, is that we want to be the ones that will be a vehicle to bring
Right.
exposure to the inventors. This is where our mindset is, and we would prefer to focus on that, although we need all the help we can possibly get.
Yeah.
But we want to have something done, and as a matter of fact, it's ironic that you speak of that, because I have a show that I'm putting together called
That's
The
good.
Powers of Inventions. It'll be a show that will be coming on TV, hopefully within the next couple of months, that will be explaining in detail all the things that we're talking about here today.
Right.
And this will be a running show.
It'd be a weekly series.
That's
like-
correct.
Sure.
Yeah.
And, well, we're putting together an infomercial, too.